Deborah Carr to John Kerr, Tea and Sympathy, MGM, 1956. Humphrey Bogart to Ingrid Bergman, Casablanca, Warner Brothers, 1942. William Powell did exactly the same thing in The Thin Man. DOA. Edmund O'Brien, Pamela Britton, United Artists, 1949. The Shining. Did you see The Shining?
You see everything, don't you? What movie?
Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee on the trail of illicit narcotics. The Yakuza.
Robert Mitchum, Brian Keith?
Exactly. Warner Brothers, 1975. The Yakuza.
Where do you find these films? What movie?
Third Man.
Yes.
Orson Welles plays a ruthless dealer in the black market who fakes his own death in order to avoid pursuit by the police.
What movie is it from?
Made it up. Charles Lawton. Witness for the prosecution.
Didn't you ever see Psycho?
The Big Sleep. Humphrey Bogart, Lauren Bacall, Warner Brothers, 1946.
Good God, you're babbling. Chinatown. I, too, attend an occasional movie.
You know what they're trying to do to Genevieve Bujold in Coma?
Claude Rains did it in Notorious.
Paramount, 1974. Murder. On the Orient Express. To Catch a Thief. Cary Grant, Grace Kelly, Paramount, 1955. Thomas Crown Affair. Steve McQueen, Faye Dunaway, United Artists, 1968. The Uninvited. Ray Milland, Gail Russell, Paramount, 1944.
Taking me to the movies.
Third Man. London Films, 1949. Laura. Dana Andrews, Gene Tierney, 20th Century Fox, 1944. It's a mad, 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 mad world. United Artists, 1963. Spencer Tracy in a car of comics. That's The Trouble with Harry.
What makes you think his name was Harry?
Paramount, 1955. Rasputin and the Empress. MGM, 1932.
Metropolis?
What?
Metropolis, directed by Fritz Lang, UFA Studios, Berlin, 1926.
Treasure of the Sierra Madre. Humphrey Bogart, Walter Houston, Warner Brothers, 1948. Code, perhaps? Something like the 39 Steps?
30 seconds over Tokyo. Heroic stuff.
Gaslight? Charles Boyer, Ingrid Bergman, MGM, 1944. A punk version of Gone with the Wind. In A Star is Born, Frederick March walks himself into the ocean. Garbo threw herself in front of a train in Anna Karenina.
Richard Chamberlain drank contaminated water in The Music Lovers. Gone with the Wind, revisited.
Laura, this is beginning to smack of the Maltese Falcon.
The Bride of Frankenstein.
Notorious. Cary Grant, Ingrid Bergman, Orkale, 1946. Did you ever happen to see Key Largo, Humphrey Bogart, Lauren Bacall, Warner Brothers, 1948? Claudette Colbert. And It Happened One Night. Clark Gable, Columbia, 1934. Spellbound? Gregory Peck, Ingrid Bergman, Selznick International, 1945. Or Robin Hood. John Wayne, Republic, 1949! Mirage. Gregory Peck, Walter Matthau, Universal, 1965.
Charade.
The game of the movie.
Cary Grant. Audrey Hepburn.
Universal, 1964.
Everybody, we're about to enact our version of one of Mr. Steele's favorite films, The Sting.
Splendor in the Grass. Warren Beatty, Natalie Wood, Warner Brothers, 1961.
I saw this afternoon more like Tom Jones.
Tom Jones? Oh, The Yellow Rolls Royce. Rex Harrison, George C. Scott, Shirley MacLaine, Art Carney, Ingrid Bergman, Omar Sharif, MGM, 1965.
I am producing the E.T. of frozen foods here.
So you're the next Little Caesar, eh?
Pygmalion.
Leslie Howard, Wendy Hiller, MGM, 1938. My fair lady. Rear Window. James Stewart, Grace Kelly, Paramount, 1954. When John Ford was directing Stagecoach, someone asked him, why don't the Indians shoot the horses?
The Gauntlet. Clint Eastwood, Sandra Locke, Warner Brothers, 1977.
Boomtown, MGM 1940.
I've seen that look before.
What look?
Ray Milland had it in The Lost Weekend. The man who knew too much.
Jimmy Stewart, Doris Day, Paramount, 1956.
That's what Ray Milland said just before he lost that weekend.
Neptune's Daughter. Esther Williams, MGM, 1949.
The Major and the Minor. Ray Milland, Ginger Rogers, Paramount, 1942. A Frank Capra movie. It's a Wonderful Life. Mr. Dees goes to town. This case is beginning to sound more and more like A Bad Day at Black Rock. Spencer Tracy, Robert Ryan, MGM, 1954.
So this once in a James Cagney movie.
In the Heat of the Night. Sidney Poitier, Rod Steiger, United Artists, 1967. Yes. This town is a veritable pagan place. Lana Turner, Lee Phillips, 20th Century Fox, 1957.
Ocean's 11.
Frank Sinatra, Richard Conte and the Rat Pack, Warner Brothers, 1960.
Vertigo, James Stewart, Kim Novak, Paramount, 1958. Obsession, Cliff Robertson, Genevieve Bujold, Columbia, 1976. The Big Sleep. This isn't Death Race 2000. Beau Geste.
I'm really not in the mood for one of your movie quotes right now.
That yacht. It's called the Beau Geste.
Do you really think people cared there were 3 different film versions of Moby Dick?
The Great Escape. Steve McQueen, James Gardner, United Artists, 1963. The Third Man, Joseph Cotten, Orson Welles, London Films, 1949.
Chasing a Maltese Falcon!
That championship season. Robert Mitchum, Bruce Stern, Cannon Films, 1982. Then there were none. Barry Fitzgerald, Walter Houston.
I remember.
Variation on the Alphabet Murders. Tony Randall, Robert Morley.
I know.
Fear Strikes Out and Pride of the Yankees. The Fuller Brush Man. Red Skelton. Janet Blair, Columbia, 1948. Ah, Laura, of course, yes. Dana Andrews, Gene Tierney, Waspish Little Clifton Webb.
What you just recounted is a scene from Casablanca.
I better wait until dark. Audrey Hepburn, Alan Arkin, Warner Brothers, 1967. 39 Steps. The Hitchcock movie. Gone with the Wind. Tara. Citizen Kane. Oh, I think I'm losing my marbles. I'm going out of my mind.
The movie Citizen Kane?
Orson Welles, Joseph Cotton, OKO, 1941.
Your father is Groucho Marx?
The Marx Brothers, Laura. Of course. Day at the races. Come on.
There aren't any oil drums!
The Wearing from Russia with Love. Boys Town. Spencer Tracy, Mickey Rooney, MGM, 1938. The Wizard of Oz. Judy Garland, Ray Bolger, MGM. And so we come to the triumph of White Heat. Oh, you still look as lovely as you did in The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Danny Kaye, Boris Karloff, 4KO, 19... The Fan.
What?
Lauren Bacall, James Garner, Paramount, 1981. This image of the character Peter Lorre played in The Maltese Falcon. Dorothy Lamour, Road to Singapore, Moon over Burma, Typhoon. I went to a revival house where they were showing Somewhere in the Night, but 3 Days of the Condor.
The postman always rings twice.
No wonder Bing and Bob thought you were the perfect comedic counterpart. But Manhandle, Dan Jurier, Sterling Hayden, Paramount, 1949.
St. Louis Blues.
Oh, William Frawley, Matty Malneck and his orchestra, Paramount, 1939.
Don't forget Johnny Apollo, darling.
Tyrone Power, Edward Arnold, 20th Century Fox, 1940. White Heat is on.
But let's face it, Dirty Harry, you ain't.
The Godfather. Marlon Brando, Al Pacino, Paramount, 1972. Little Murders. Elliot Gould, Alan Arkin, 20th Century Fox, 1971. Arsenic and Old Lace. Cary Grant, Raymond Massey, Warner Brothers, 1944. The Thin Man. William Powell, Myrna Loy, MGM, 1934. I keep hoping I'll wake up and I'll be watching Gone with the Wind. Or even Heaven's Gate. I was only going to investigate a dull company. I didn't anticipate Blood Alley. The Day of the Jackal. Edward Fox, Michael Lonsdale, Universal, 1973. The producers.
Here we go again.
Sierra Mistel, Gene Wilder, Avco Embassy, 1968. Gulfstream COD. George Brent, Joan Blondell, Columbia, 1947. The T-Men, Mildred. Dennis O'Keefe, Alfred Ryder, Eagle Line, 1948. The Barefoot Contessa.
Who?
Humphrey Bogart, Ava Gardner, United Artists, 1954.
And the next day, a strange dog came at me like Cujo eyes.
Psycho. Anthony Perkins, Janet Leigh, Paramount, 1960.
How to Murder Your Wife. Jack Lemmon, Vienna Lisi, United Artists, 1965. Gaslight. Ingrid Bergman, Charles Boyer, MGM, 1944. Oh, this isn't Psycho, and there isn't... It's a mad, 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 mad world. Spencer Tracy, Sid Caesar, United Artists, 1963. The Lost Weekend. Ray Milland, Jane Wyman, Paramount, 1945.
I saw Smokey and the Bandit.
Day of the Jackal. Edward Fox, Michael Lonsdale, Universal, 1973. Hide in Plain Sight. James Caan, Jill Ackenberg. United Artists, 1979. Yes, Billy Divorcement. John Barrymore, Catherine Hepburn, OKO, 1932.
36 hours.
James Garner, Rod Taylor, MGM, 1964. Tony Curtis in The Great Imposter. North by Northwest. Cary Grant, Eva Marie Saint, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, MGM, 1959. Witnesses. Harrison Ford, Kelly McGinnis, Paramount, 1985. I mean, why are you so determined to make this into Billy Jack Saves a Pig Thief? North by Northwest. Cary Grant, James Mason, MGM, 1959. It was Easy Rider. Come on. DOA. Edmund O'Brien, Luther Radler, United Artists, 1949. Gaslight. Charles Boyer, Ingrid Bergman, MGM, 1944. The list of Adrian Messenger, George C. Scott, Kirk Douglas, Universal, 1963.
Where's that tape of Gone with the Wind?
So much for double indemnity.
Gone with the Wind.
Shanghai Cobra, Monogram, 1945. Ah, The Lost Patrol. The Taking of Pelham, 1, 2, 3. Walter Matthau, Robert Shaw. United Artists, 1974. Body Heat. Kathleen Turner, William Hurt, Warner Brothers, 1981. Third man, Joseph Cotton.
I got it the first time.
Oh.
The Maltese Falcon, and Humphrey Bogart, Mary Astor, all those other guys.
The Macomber Affair. United Artists, 1947. Beverly Hills Cop. Eddie Murphy, Judge Reinhold, Paramount, 1984.
Dirty Harry is getting to look better and better.
Now I know how Jimmy Stewart felt in Rear Window.
I got a new hero, dancer. Dirty Harry.
Going in style. George Burns, Art Carney, Lee Strasberg, Warner Brothers, 1979. Save the Tiger. Jack Lemmon, Jack Guilford, Paramount, 1972. Sunset Boulevard. Gloria Swanson, William Holden, Paramount, 1950. Out of the Past. Robert Mitchum, Kirk Douglas, RKO, 1947.
Blow Up. David Hemmings, Vanessa Redgrave, MGM, 1967. Or was it 1966?
Convicted. Glenn Ford, Broderick Crawford, Columbia, 1950. They won't believe me.
Who won't?
Robert Young, Susan Hayward, RKO, 1947.
Ilse Lund is the name of the character Ingrid Bergman played in Casablanca.
Veritable Romancing the Stone. Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner, 20th Century Fox, 1985.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Eddie Murphy, Judge Reinhold, Paramount, 1985. And then there were none. Barry Fitzgerald, Walter Houston, Lewis Hayward, C. Aubrey Smith, 20th Century Fox, 1945. Arsenic and Old Lace. Cary Grant, Josephine Hall, Warner Brothers, 1944.